Zong Tao, and I'm here with Ashley Her. And we are here together because we'd like to introduce to you all an exciting endeavor that we both have wanted to embark on for such a long time. Like, Ashley, I don't even know when was the last time we talked about it, but I'm pretty sure it started like over 2 years ago where we've just been fantasizing about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we are definitely dreamers and creatives. And so this really felt like a natural place for us to kind of bring together our desires and share them with other people.
Totally. So today, I guess we'd just like to kick off an introduction and just introduce ourselves to you all. We are the hosts of this podcast, and our podcast series is just simply called At the Table. And so, Ashley, do you want to introduce yourself and share some fun facts about who you are?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how fun these facts are, but a little bit about me is that I am Korean American, but I am married to a Hmong man named Steve. That's why my last name is Her, formerly Kim. And I've been married for about 5 years. It'll be 6 years in June, which is crazy to me. I know there are people who've been married like 80 years, but even 6 years feels like, wow, we've made it. We're raising two beautiful children together named Theodore and Amelia. Theodore is 3 and Amelia is 2, so really close in age. And on my vocationally, what I do for work is I am a program manager at a pretty big nonprofit here in the cities. And I like to just use that as an avenue to really serve my community in a really tangible way. And then outside of that, I serve my church here in the Twin Cities. It's a local church. And then some things I like to do just to take care of my mental well-being or kind of explore different creative avenues is photography and embroidery, sewing. I think a lot of people see probably my random hobbies pop up on my stories all the time. But I just really enjoy using my hands and being able to explore and gift. And so, Zong, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us all the fun facts about yourself.
Well, I think like you and Steve, Dan and I, we've been married for about the same amount of years. I think we're on year 7 now. I also have 2 kids. My 2 kids are Clementine and Eleanor. They're both 2 and 4, so still very young. I'm a 3rd grade teacher, so that's what I do as my vocation. And I love teaching here in the Twin Cities. It's just been something that I have, continue to grow a passion for, and I can see myself doing it for a long time. Hopefully, we'll see, Lord willing. I also serve in the local church here in the Twin Cities, and some things that I like to do on my own spare time is just designing, calligraphy. I love the whole world of arts and crafts, and music. Dan and I, we are I would say we're not well versed in music necessarily, but we love to sing. We love to worship with our family, and it's just something we're really passionate about. So, that's just a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we want to share is what our hopes are for starting this video and podcast series. So, Ashley, what do you hope for in this series?
Yeah, I think there's so many hopes, right? Like my Zong already shared, this is something that we've been talking about for a while now. I think being really fortunate that we've kind of been able to share a lot of experiences together, right? Being married for around the same time and having kids around the same age. And I think something that was really hard and still is still sometimes hard, right? Is this feeling of loneliness, I think, when you have such desire to connect with people. But I think in the busyness of life, especially with everything going on now, it feels almost impossible to do that sometimes. And so I think one of our hopes is that through our own journey as being a daughter, a friend, a mother, a wife, we're able to invite others to share their stories and experiences, to just continually serve as a reminder that we are not alone. And I think while we know that we're never truly alone because God is with us, I think there's this part of community, right? And companionship and friendship that can be so life-giving and fulfilling in the ways that it's been designed to be. And so I think for me and some things that my Zong and I have talked about, that's definitely one thing I'm really hoping to see through this podcast.
Yeah, and I just like want to add on like just the idea of open conversations, and it's like a dialogue about, you know, where we are just in our faith, our walk with the Lord, biblical truth, and our convictions as women. And so I really hope that as we invite guests onto the show, that we can just really dialogue about, you know, the things that happen in everyday life and how do we, you know, struggle and wrestle with these things and align ourselves with biblical truth. And so that's kind of our hope, that as we share in these conversations with one another, that we can continue to also encourage each other and push each other to be like-minded in our walk with the Lord. And so yeah, I'm excited because in the future we'll be able to invite a lot of women who they're preparing, right? They're preparing for these conversations. And so it's going to be, I think, really amazing to just hear their stories and their experiences. So let's share some fun facts about ourselves before we wrap up. Ashley, what is a fun fact about you that you think the people that we're talking to should know about?
Yeah, this fact makes me feel shy, but I think I'm sharing because I think people are surprised. So as I've already shared, I am Korean and I don't speak Hmong, even though I've been married for this long, but I have picked up some essential Hmong skills. And one of them is ordering papaya salad at Hmong Village. And this is how you know you order too much papaya salad. But I eventually learned the kind of order in which my favorite shop asks me. And I've learned to respond appropriately.
Wait, which is your favorite shop, though? You need to clarify for people so they know.
This is so bad because I don't even know the name, but I can explain it to you geographically. So if you're at Hmong Village, I think across from it is Blueberry.
Yes.
Like the bubble tea, right?
Yes.
And it's right across. They make bomb kapia. They make like really good papaya. It's hot though, so be careful. But yeah, I learned because sometimes Steve would be ordering his crazy steak, you know, and I'd be like standing there and I just would have to do it or else it'd take forever at Hmong Village. And so, you know, the order is always this, right? Like I want Thai style papaya. I want 3 peppers. I want no tomatoes. No, I don't need to taste it. Thank you so much, right? Like that's literally the order. And so one time, like, right, this is something that I've been doing for the last like 5 years. Yeah. And one time I go and it's a new person, which is great, right? But the order was totally thrown off. And so I have no idea what they're asking me, right? It's all off. They keep going like, what? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. So I start going 3 peppers. I need 3 peppers. And you could just tell they were like, yo, like, okay. And then eventually they were just like, what number? And I was like, oh, like 70%, like the Thai papaya salad. I was just like, okay, maybe I don't know how to order. But when it's definitely the people that I know who are working, then it's easy for me. Also, I think I just heard somebody come in here. So everyone, okay. Whoever you saw, that's probably either my husband or my kids or all of them. But my Zong, why don't you tell us a fun fact about yourself?
Gosh, mine is like not as cool as yours because you're Korean and you don't speak Hmong, but yet you do understand like phrases and stuff. So like, I think that's like a really good skill. Whereas mine is like a useless skill and it's just for me to make fun of people. So I can make myself sneeze whenever I want to. So all you have to do is like wiggle this little nerve in your eye. And when you wiggle it, it makes you sneeze. And so it doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. And I guess just like a funny story is just like whenever Dan has to sneeze, like he always says it out loud. Like he'll be like, oh, I really need to sneeze like so bad. And I'll be like, well, I can sneeze. And so I'll make myself sneeze. And I'm like sneezing constantly in front of him just to taunt him. And he just like, he thinks I'm so annoying, but it's so funny.
Okay, so before we recorded this episode, I tried itching my eyes to figure out if I could do it, and I can't. And so I totally feel what Dan is feeling. Like that is just like the worst when you can see the relief and joy it brings somebody when they can sneeze and you're just out here like gasping for air, just wishing you could sneeze. But I bet that's a really good skill when you feel a sneeze coming on and you lose it and then you could like make yourself sneeze. So, wow. Well, those are some.
Are you gonna say? I was like, I was just saying, yeah, but sorry. Bloopers, it's okay.
I know. We'll probably just include it anyways so that people know. But yeah, we just wanted to thank you all for listening. We hope you took something away. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to tune in another with a special guest soon. You can follow us on our socials. We do have an Instagram page. It's at the Table Minnesota. And then we also have our own individual pages. Something my Zong was very humble about is that her hobby is calligraphy, but she actually has a business. So you can follow her at Calligraphy Endeavors as well. She does absolutely beautiful work. And so I just wanted to put that in there because earlier you just like moved on and I was like, oh, no, I'm for sure going to talk about that business.
Well, okay, you didn't talk about like you have a photography business, right? And so I was like, I'm not going to talk about calligraphy business because that's just a hobby, and sometimes I'm lucky and I make money. It's still a hobby though.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, yeah.